All right, guys, we're going to talk about this. Apparently, there were plans to turn Yoda into a villain in the Acolyte, and thank God, this show was canceled when it was canceled.
Can we just all agree Leslye Headland had no business being anywhere near Star Wars?
No, and that's going to be Kathleen Kennedy's legacy, is she put people in charge of Star Wars projects that didn't have any business being put in charge of Star Wars projects, and this is what happened, and this would have been a huge failure. But it shouldn't surprise anyone, because lately it seems like the people at Lucasfilm really have a massive disdain for the legacy characters, except for Leia. They love Leia, but everybody else, yeah, they can go to hell.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's pretty much it, including Yoda, including Boba Fett. We're going to talk about that too. I gotta give a hat tip to Mr. Milo, who sent this over. I missed it. That Temuera Morrison said that Lucasfilm backhanded him because he was talking about how disappointed in the Boba Fett show he was.
Well, I believe it, because you got crap for just saying that the theme park was hot at Toy Story Land.
Oh yeah. I mean, like, the people at Disney have very thin skins, but I think Lucasfilm has the thinnest skin of all. Now, I hope Dave Filoni makes good. He said that we're in a different era of Star Wars right now, but as long as they have people like Pablo Hidalgo there, I don't believe.
Is he still there?
I think he's still there.
Really?
I'm pretty sure he is. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's still there. He's like you say, he's being quiet.
Must have been told to shut his mouth. I don't know.
Shut up. If nothing else, if the people associated with Star Wars can learn to shut their mouths and just let the product speak for itself, I think they would get a lot further than
let the product
speak
McDonald's.
I know, right? Let the product speak for itself. But no, they really need to do that, because they have actually done more damage attacking the fans over the last few years, where the fans even have their backups, their backs up on decent projects like Andor. Nobody wants to watch it. It doesn't matter how good it is. Same with Mando and Grogu. I don't think people are going to go see it, because fans have their backs up already, because they've been treated very poorly by Lucasfilm. And your job as entertainers is to basically put the thing out there, let the public decide if they like it or not. Right.
Well, as soon as they were allowed to speak, people behind Andor, they were out there making it political and making dumbass comments too. That would be fair.
Right. So we're going to talk about that. So this is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And this is CLOWNFISH TV. And if you like our content, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you will get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
So yeah, Leslye Headland, and I talked about this earlier briefly, but she did a podcast interview on, I think it was the George Lucas show. And she said that had the Acolyte continued, Yoda would have covered up for some questionable choices of the Jedi, the murders and crimes and all that shit. Basically, they were going to turn Yoda into an accomplice to some bullshit. And look, the one thing the prequels did that I didn't like, and I mean, I actually did like the prequels, but the one thing that the prequels did I did not like is the Jedi weren't quite the good guys, which I understand that led to Palpatine taking over, but I thought they were kind of dicks. It's like the council of douchebags.
They were kind of, yeah.
They were all kind of dicks. But this is like, yeah, we're just going to rip the Band-Aid off, and Yoda would have covered up for some bullshit. And it would have ruined the character forever, right? I mean, I
think people would not have been happy about it. If you make Yoda like he's part of this plot that's like, that's evil or bad and he was involved, it would not have gone well with fans, no.
So this is coming from comicbookmovie.com. The show took some big swings with Star Wars lore. Is that what we're calling it? That's always big swigs. I think a lot of Star Wars fans took some big swigs. If they I watched one episode and I'm like, yeah, fuck this. I'm out. I'm not watching this. And that's always a risk for a beloved franchise. News of the Acolyte's cancellation didn't come as a surprise, but no season 2 means we have several unresolved plot threads.
Oh, where?
Wow. So according to Leslye Headland, this is what would have happened. They said, given the studio's publishing arm has moved on from the High Republic, because again, that was a freaking failure. High Republic. Leslye Headland has resolved at least some of those dangling plot threads in a new interview, starting with the controversy surrounding Ki-Adi Mundi's surprise cameo in The Acolyte. Yeah, he wasn't supposed to be that old.
About that.
He wasn't supposed to be that old. That was what people were like, wait, why is he 100 years ago? How is he still there? And she said she asked Pablo Hidalgo because he's
That was your first problem.
Yeah. He's the Lucasfilm archivist, I guess. I don't remember what he said about the birthday or lifespan, but Pablo said it was cool. Many people read the script. Well, what they're going by is his birthday, I think, if I remember correctly, the visual dictionary said he was like 60 something by the Phantom Menace. So they're like, yeah, there's no way this guy was around. The scene they mentioned, we should alert the High Council. He says that because of that, you assume he's not on the High Council unless he's not gotten there. Apollo said if he's not on the High Council, you can use him. Headland went on to confirm that Kneon and the Stranger were not a true Sith. Yeah, they were gonna go in this whole thing and bring the Reylos in and make it like he was like the first Knight of Ren or some bullshit. So it was like
that's what trying to anchor her. Well, that and anchor all her stuff. To make it like it's important because let's anchor it here and anchor it there.
Okay, this is some horseshit. Wow. Okay, so and I knew this is where she's going. And this is probably why they pulled the plug on it because this thing would have like just destroyed Star Wars canon. She said the mother is still alive. One of the mothers is still alive. One of the Force witches, and strongly hinted that Osha May's mysterious origin would have eventually been linked to Anakin Skywalker's own mysterious birth.
He wasn't the only chosen one; they were chosen ones too. It's ridiculous. I get tired of this. It's like they're my OCs, so I have to make them stick. Like they're like gum and hair. You can't get it out. And I shove it in there, and you're just gonna anchor it to whatever you think you can anchor it to say, oh, it was always meant to be that way. Just stop.
Yeah. So she was like, the reason Darth Plagueis was introduced, or they're theorizing the reason Darth Plagueis was introduced very briefly at the end was the witches are the ones that came up with the gay witches came up with the Force cloning technology, and then Plagueis would use that technique to teach Palpatine or make Anakin himself. So, basically, her OCs are her gay witches are responsible for
giving them anchoring them to the past to make them the reason why everything happened was because of her characters. I'm like, that is the most Mary Sue bullshit.
Yeah, it is bullshit. But yeah, she's like, yeah, and also, Yoda is going to cover up for crimes. She said, yeah, people are going to attack me for that. Well, in the Clone Wars, Yoda made some questionable choices. I'm like, it was wartime. It was a little bit different, right? And covering up for atrocities or whatever. It's like, come on. Because then that tells me like, look, I'll give you a pass in the prequels that the Jedi were kind of shit by them because that made it easy for Palpatine to come in. Because people are like, wait, you got so many Jedi running around. Not a single one of them figured out that Palpatine was a Sith and they were all being played. Like, what the hell is up with that? And by that point, they're kind of, waning or whatever. They got too comfortable. But like, we're talking 100 years before that. And they're supposed to be like, oh, it's the High Republic when the Jedi were at the height of their powers. And they're still evil son of a bitches. So I think her whole thing is basically the Jedi, the religious people are corrupt, and the Sith were kind of right in bringing balance to the Force by stealing the technique from the gay Force witches. And also my OCs are now the most important people in Star Wars.
Okay, wait. The Jedi are bad because they're a religion. Religion tells me that I can't be a lesbian with my wife. So me and the lesbian space witches are going to put them in their place. And then we're going to it depends what religion anyway. And then they're going to make Yoda bad because they have to anchor that her new story to the past. And who better to anchor it than Yoda by ruining Yoda? And she thinks people are going to be like, this is great. Good job.
So who have we ruined? Let's see. We've ruined Han Solo because he became a deadbeat dad.
Han and Leia had a marriage that everybody waited for, and it was gone.
And it failed. Yeah. And then we've ruined Luke Skywalker. And they wanted to ruin Yoda. And now we've also ruined Boba Fett. So let's talk about that. So he was at a convention where he said he was basically disappointed in Boba Fett, which I was too. Yeah. I was massively disappointed.
It's known that he was the one saying Boba Fett wouldn't act the way they had the character acting, and he's not wrong.
Yeah, and he wanted people to contact Lucasfilm and basically say, "Hey, let's do more with Boba Fett." But he was not happy with the way they portrayed the character because he was a sad sack. People were calling him Boba Fett. I mean, he was in inaction here. Like, people have waited years for a Boba Fett show. And the Boba Fett show is basically the Mandalorian, and then Boba Fett is a sad sack. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Right? So Morrison, alongside Daniel Logan, who played young Boba and Jango Fett's clone son, told fans at FanX's Tampa Bay convention there's nothing in the works in terms of a new appearance. He then used the opportunity to issue his plea, and this has come from IGN. I think we really have to treasure those moments now. All of you need to send a fax or letter and email to those powers at Lucasfilm. I'm sure they'd love to hear from everyone. Yeah, I'm sure. They hear from everyone every day on the internet. Please give Daniel Logan and Temuera Morrison another chance and put them somewhere. Turns out that irritated Lucasfilm, who called Morrison up to reiterate Boba's situation. I was only joking. I'm at a convention and I said something stupid. He told Inverse. Then I've got Lucasfilm calling me. Look, you've been put on the shelf, Boba Fett. We might open up the jar later. That's their own damn fault. Boba Fett could have been a massive hit.
Well, this reminds me of the one actress in Disneyland that was playing
the Evil Queen.
Evil Queen, and then was it Evil Queen? Or Maleficent.
I think
whatever she was playing.
Or Maleficent.
It was Maleficent. I thought. Anyway, whatever character she was playing, she told them to go to the customer service and ask for more of her, and that's against company policy. So that's why she got canned. And I mean, I get she was really good at what she did, but you were told you're not supposed to do stuff like that. So I'm sure that he knew he wasn't supposed to do like that either. But normally people go to conventions and say stuff and it doesn't end up for the phone call, but this one must have.
Yeah, so Morrison told Inverse that he had hoped to get multiple seasons out of Boba Fett. It was a big deal for me. When you do a series like Boba Fett and work with Ming-Na Wen, I mean, that was a huge deal.
Yeah, I love Ming-Na.
Our son's
Not
like
as
a
much
huge fan.
as Squid King loves Ming-Na Wen. But
He's a huge fan.
Also Pittsburgh gal. Woo.
She's from Pittsburgh, yeah. Seasons 2, 3, 4, but at the end of it, we had a great time. I was honored to be brought back after all that time. Boba Fett should have been a hit. A Boba Fett show should have been bigger than The Mandalorian if Boba Fett were done correctly.
It wasn't done correctly. I don't think anybody's ever said it was done correctly.
No, that's what I'm saying. If it were done correctly, a Boba Fett show could have been huge. Mm-hmm. Like, I would love to see Boba Fett just kind of like a problem of the week, like Boba Fett and some badass bounty hunters just go out and blow some shit up, and like the A-Team. They go out and people hire them.
Like the 18. Yes, that would have been good. That
would have been awesome. Boba Fett with his helmet on for most of the episode. Boba Fett and his badass bounty hunters go out like the fucking A-Team, and they go solve intergalactic problems, and they get paid big bucks for it. And you could basically you could do the Mandalorian, but he doesn't have any code ethics.
And they worked for both sides and stuff.
He worked for both sides.
That would be cool. That would have been really cool.
That would have been awesome.
That we can't have that. That would have been too smart. And he even said, "Hey, Boba Fett has a lot of lines here. He would never talk this much."
No, he talks too much.
Shut up, actor. Read the lines.
Boba Fett shows up, does his job, gets paid. If you want zingers, you want one-liners, then you pair him up with some other bounty hunters that they can be the comic relief. Or give him a Murdoch and get him a BA or Brackus, Mr. T, get in there. But Boba Fett himself, he should be like Hannibal. He should be like the guy calling the shots. He's the guy who gets paid, and he's kind of the straight man, but he doesn't say much.
Yeah, that would have been really good. I would have watched that. What we got was shit.
Yeah, it was. And then they had the freaking Vespas, and the sets weren't done, and it was slow as fuck. I tried watching it, and it was like, this is not Boba. Like, I just want to see Boba Fett just do his job, and like every week, it would be a different situation with weird shit going on and just ridiculous situations. This job's ridiculous. I wouldn't even have an ongoing plot any more than like an A-Team show. I'd just be like, he just shows up. This alien paid him, or the Empire, or maybe he was, double crossing, like, well, the Empire paid me to take out this guy, but this guy's paying me to take out the Empire. Well, we can actually 2 for 1. Yeah, let's figure this out. Let's make as much money as possible. That would have been pretty cool, but that's not what we got. So, I feel bad for him because I think he really thought this was going to be his big payday, and Lucasfilm all over the place. Yeah, it's horrible. So hopefully,
if they listen to Pablo Hidalgo, that's probably part of it.
I think that is part of it. Pablo Hidalgo, just stick to being the archive guy. You shouldn't have any say in the creative direction of Star Wars, man. No way. Maybe Dave Filoni will change things. I don't know.
I doubt that. I'm sorry. I came out in a really bad croaking sound, but I was trying not to laugh. I doubt it highly.
Yeah, I think it's going to be more of the same, but a lot of missed opportunities.
His OC shows is what it's going to be.
But at least they didn't get a chance to completely ruin Yoda, so there we go.
Do not let Leslye Headland anywhere near a show, especially one that's an established IP anytime soon.
Yeah. We're going to wrap it up.
Mm-hmm.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.